some imaginary worker doing your thing, like going through code, debugging it out, and kind of providing you with a document, like where it possibly thinks is the issue, and maybe with a possible solution that you guys can kind of quickly apply and try it out. These were few scenarios we all thought about, right? Like it's like we all thought about, it will be great if these things happen. So yeah, I mean, these days, this is no longer a science fiction. It's very much the reality. So this is possible using AI agents. So they are transforming like enterprises, businesses, and whatnot these days. So while earlier chatbots and all, like earlier stage of Gen AI started with chatbots, and then began to advance with fine tuning and all, with GPT-3 getting launched, and they says, okay, you can kind of customize your chatbots. It's not the knowledge base out there in the web, but you can actually feed it the curated knowledge you guys have to kind of want to kind of feed it, and let it answer customer queries and whatnot. So later came the RAG, like there were few shortcomings, and later came RAG, and it's like, okay, even with the fine tuning, why not add the real time data fetching, like real time question related data, and then answering the questions and all. So these things, they do have kind of transformed and paved the way to these AI agents, because earlier it was like the chatbots. It's mostly like the scripted kind of scenario where they are only limited to kind of answer and follow through few scenarios only. Think of a scenario where you kind of ask the chatbot, like, okay, I have issue with this item that got delivered. So it says, okay, contact support, I can't answer you, I can't help you with this one. So this is actually the limitation like it has, because it's actually a strict flow, and it doesn't have any other knowledge than what it's actually is coded for. So later the fine tuning got popular. Everyone fed the knowledge, and it was answering quite well. But later it got very much ineffective when it came to the costing, because you have to kind of reiterate and make it learn again and again, feed it with new knowledge and all. So fast growing businesses and all, they faced quite a lot of challenges with this fine tuning models, and the investment actually exceeded rather than what they are getting. So ROI dropped due to these fine-tuned models for the dynamic businesses, of course. So later the RAG systems combined like pre-trained models with real-time data retrieval and enabling more contextually relevant responses. Then yeah, it got the enterprise adoption, like maybe by 2024 it got like 28% of the reach. And yeah, these were few scenarios I was talking about. And yeah, the chatbots are the year fine tuning and the RAG. Then it reached the 28% of adoption rate like by 2024. Like while outperforming these fine tuning and chatbots, it's still hard to kind of feed the data again and again due to the limitations, and the confidence with which the AI is answering questions. It got limited because the data can be wrong sometimes, and it has a lot of quite a large knowledge base itself. So it often hallucinates and all, and it doesn't know what to do next with the retrieved data. So to solve this issue, later, these evolutionary steps, they established the foundation for more sophisticated autonomous systems that could not only process information but take meaningful steps. So then arrived these AI agents. So what are AI agents? Like, if you see in a nutshell, AI agents are a imaginary worker who can think on his own using chain of thought process. Like he can break the provided scenario or the issue at stake into multiple small possible mini tasks, and kind of solve each and every one of it, and kind of also has access to different entities called tools and all. So they can actually access real-time APIs and also knowledge bases. They can pull off data. They can kind of talk with different APIs and retrieve multiple data and all. So once the data is available, it also chooses what to do with the data. Or maybe later came this multi-agent kind of approach where even the AIs, I mean, like agents can talk with each other using maybe consensus memory and all. They have kind of contributed and is kind of driving this enterprises evolution uh, recently. So yeah, let's take an example, like if like I mentioned in hospital. Take a patient, like he has a few queries and all. He came with an issue, like patient queries and kind of books an MRI and updates the chart, flags the diagnosis, and the alerts the doctor, while doctor actually focuses on the patient care. So why the agents win with numbers? Like, it kind of, there is a reduction in the developer workflows by 25% and better performance in complex scenarios, and like, faster fraud detection response times and improved in customer satisfaction. And they all use very simple, and they are all built upon very simple and common terminologies. You can say they have kind of are built upon persona, memory, tool, and kind of model. So persona is something like what defines what the AI agent should do. Like, like persona is something like you can instruct the AI to behave in certain way, or maybe kind of perform the action in certain way. And memory is something like it is a multi-layer system for it can be a short-term memory, it can be a long-term memory, episodic interactions, or maybe it can be shared consensus. And tools are something like I mentioned, external APIs and system interfaces that enable complex tasks execution beyond language processing. So models are basically the LLMs you know out there. They serve as cognitive foundation for reasoning and autonomous action. So what are the advanced operational frameworks these agents are using? So they use intelligent decision making engine. So model plus memory integration, you can say. So, yeah, model plus episodic memory can actually boost the accuracy by 30%. And to the chain of thought, it actually kind of figures out what to do next, and what exactly is the task that it need to kind of perform, and then lead to the end of the pipeline, solve the issues. So it's also like persona driven prioritization. This agents use defined roles to automatically prioritize tasks by business impact. uh, like you can say software agents prioritizing crucial bugs over common bug fixes. So later comes the seamless enterprise integration. These AI tools can actually be integrated seamlessly into the enterprises. They use external APIs, and also they are kind of getting connected into the CRMs with quite a lot of ease these days, which is very much helpful for the businesses to kind of interact with the real time data and kind of get the analytics out in very short matter of time. And also we can actually see multi-agent architectures coming up. So multi-agents with distinct roles can actually collaborate together. They use this GraphQL protocol, and they kind of work on shared consensus memory. You can think of this memory like they, based on their previous actions and all, they agree upon few points, like they can be followed, and they agree upon few decisions that will be kind of considered in the next iteration while they are interacting. So this is called the consensus memory in a nutshell. And also the adaptive learning is actually the base, the core of the agentic architecture. Like the short term episodic memory systems, they enable continuous performance optimization, and the persona also get evolves based on what AI has already performed in the past and how it is performing today. So based on that, it has, I mean, like there are a lot of feedback loops in place, which kind of helps in refining the AI over the time, and it learns from its own persona and how it's actually performing, and what the users are expecting and all. So yeah, what are the competitive advantage over legacy systems? So basically, like they are autonomous, like they operate on their own. So AI agents operate independently within defined parameters, reducing more like manual oversight, you can say, like and also in software development workflows, you can think of this autonomous implementations like Sanket mentioned earlier, this lovable AI, and also the cursor and all we use these days, they also are using these agents, and they are kind of running independently based on the based on the coding task or anything you guys give to it. It kind of breaks it into chain of thought, breaks it into mini tasks and all, and then kind of what to say, processes each and every step of it, maybe in parallel when it's required, and gather the data and kind of get the task done. So it also has this advanced decision making capabilities, like through sophisticated reasoning frameworks, agents actually outperform these RAG and chatbots, because they are not only retrieving the data, but they also have the previous stored user personas, or maybe you can call them like episodic memories, or maybe like the long-term memory which the AI has curated based on the user interaction. It can actually develop the user persona, you can say, and kind of think of a scenario where you want to create a travel agent. So the travel agent, it needs to kind of know the user persona and what the user is interested in order to give the personalized touch to the responses it gives. So what it does is, whenever the user is interacting with it, it kind of gathers the user personas with each interaction the user is having. So based on the user interactions, these traits are actually getting attached. You can say like the traits are actually getting attached to the user, and it calls it user persona. And whenever the user is coming back and kind of interacting with it, it kind of fetches out the user persona, the relevant episodes the user has reported to the AI, and kind of answers these queries and kind of guides him next based on his previous experiences. And also the adaptive learning part, like I mentioned, it kind of goes through a continuous feedback loop. It kind of analyze what exactly is going on and what needs to be done to get it better. It actually learns through the feedback loop. So with each iteration it does and each problem it solves, it is getting better because of these feedback loops incorporated in the background. And also they do kind of not only retrieve and kind of deal with data, they also kind of perform the workflows. Like for a scenario, if you want to create a software project these days, it's no longer like, you go like create the bare bone structure of the code and start coding it from scratch. We kind of use these tools out there like Cursor or Windsurf or Lovable AI or whatnot, and we kind of get the basic working app done through these AI solutions out there. So these actually follows this workflow approach. So it starts with this task and kind of processes until the task get done. And the market validation part. So the BCG's 2025 AI radar, it identifies agent technologies as priority for 67% of the enterprises, significantly exceeding the chatbots and the RAG adoption priorities that existed earlier. And these multi-agent systems, they amplify these benefits. And these financial institutions, they can actually kind of reduce the threat detection time using these specialized agent teams. They identify, verify, and compliance logging agents that collectively reduce threat detection. So these kind of it is reported by Salesforce, like 50% of the time was actually saved in this threat detection alone using these multi-agent workflows. And McKinsey, it actually predicts like 4.4 trillion projected global value for this agent um, incorporated enterprises in the coming future. Yeah. So the strategic business impact. So the data quality, so it's like due to its good reasoning abilities and also chain of thought process and interacting with multiple tools necessary, it actually improves the data quality of what exactly it is solving. And a scenario where you can see like it kind of gets 35% better bug resolution accuracy in the software development scenarios, and also 30% result in fraud losses. Like if you kind of incorporate some fraud detection system like autonomous AI working in the background, it can actually detect and kind of take the action as necessary, and it kind of reduces some part of the fraud losses. And also governance, you can see like 40% improvements in the compliance. And also yeah, there is real world scenarios, you can say. In the recent days, I have came to know like this there's an hospital being run by AI agents in China. Like there is a complete hospital where across all the multiple fields of medicine, they were actually AI agents being deployed. They act as these experts of this certain division of the hospital, and they are kind of interacting among themselves, and they are successfully diagnosing more than 220 uh, diseases as we speak now. So also, there is a use case where Uber actually deployed agents on Google Vertex AI platform to automatically summarize customer interactions and process refunds, improving the response times with like 25% faster. So also there is a scenario where BMW SWORD AI, it's called SWORD AI system, utilizes the time series forecast models to predict component shortages and achieving 20% of the cost reduction in inventory management alone. And also JP Morgan Chase, it implemented AI agent based risk assessment systems that identified potential threats, and it kind of made it 35% faster than the traditional methods they were actually using earlier. And also I mean it's very tempting to kind of adopt to these AI agents and all, but there are like what are the challenges that we'll face while we kind of try to adopt these AI agents. So it's like market research, it indicates like 74% they, like, the reliability is like 74%, they worry about the errors kind of thing. And also this error rate is kind of quite high because of the hallucination among the AI agents, and this can actually be kind of the edge cases where the AI kind of is getting failed. These can actually be reduced through adversarial training and error detection mechanisms that can actually be incorporated as feedback loops. And also, yeah, the cost, the 62% faced budget overruns. So the budget overrun is always an issue with AI, like, but these days the AI is getting quite a lot less expensive, allowing all the enterprises to kind of try it out, to get things done with quite efficiency. And these days there were a lot of efficient models out there, like Anthropic, Claude, or maybe Grok AI, you can say, and also GPT. So these models, they have led to the cost reduction, and also the ease of development has actually been introduced. So, like regulatory compliances, they require transparent decision making, right? So, the SHAP is basically like Shapley additive explanations, and Lime is basically like the local interpretable model agnostic explanations. So, these are frameworks actually, they improve decision transparency by 40%. It was actually reported by Google's Vertex AI implementations. So, also the data security, so you can say like data security is a major concern while using the AI. So the privacy is also kind of a major concern, because the data we are giving to it, so how it is stored, and how it is managed, and the user having like the access to kind of revoke the memory shared and all. These were actually kind of along with the end-to-end encryption, these were actually kind of growing more trust over AI for the people using it, and encouraging the enterprises also to come in and kind of utilize it without worrying about the privacy and like the privacy and the compliances. So in 2025, the technology trends. So like market research, it indicates like 67% of priority going to the enterprise markets. And also it grows, it is expected to grow by like 800 billion dollar market alone using AI agents in the coming future. And also service teams adopting Gen AI would be kind of increasing to 80%. The efficiency gains, like due to these advanced reasoning abilities and capabilities of AI, the efficiency gains will be increasing to 30%. And also the ethics demand, like the demand of transparency is going to increase. And there is a window for competitive advantage. So the earlier we kind of adopt to this AI agentic workflows, the earlier we kind of learn and evolve with the growing community around these things, and also kind of make the most out of it. And yeah, so what all the technologies we can actually use to implement these AI agents. So one popular technology I can suggest is like LangChain. It has like subcomponents like LangGraph, and also the Langsmith. So basically these three, they contribute to all in all development of AI agents. So one facilitates the closed, compact, combined, freely, accessible, multiple SDKs, across major LLM providers these days. And LangGraph actually kind of builds a graph kind of flow for agentic AI implementation. And also Langsmith, it actually kind of analyzes and kind of stores these logs, and like it actually follows the process of agentic interaction and kind of stores logs and also insights of all these interactions. So later, if we face any issues and all, it's very easy to debug. So that will be one thing I would like to suggest. And also there's XAI API. They claim that it is way more secure and also way more faster. And you can actually interact with XAI API. You can also go through their documentation. It's quite easy. And also the Hugging Face. It's been there for quite a long time now, and it also kind of has these interfaces to kind of build the AI agents. And also there are a lot of companies, they are adopting AWS, and they prefer AWS to be their cloud provider and also AI provider, so they can actually kind of explore Bedrock. So it actually allows AI agents and also multi-agent orchestration. And the motto will be like start small, scale fast, and um, like we can all think about some processes in our companies that can be automated using these AI tools. So we can actually pick few things and start soon so that we get to know the growing technologies around these AI agents. And also the strategic recommendations can be like, you can identify what all the repetitive workflows that are actually going across the companies, and map them. And assess the automation potential, if they are automated, like how what will be the ROI on these things. And also define the success metrics, because without success metrics it can be lost, because AI can kind of is a vast platform out there. And if you don't define the successful define accurate success metrics, it can be quite hard to actually evaluate the process that is going on. And also pilot these changes, like choose your implementation strategy, start with single process automation rather than jumping into automating all at once. Try to explore different technologies, major providers out there, like how they are performing and what suits you best. Measure the outcomes and iterate over these things. And also scale these pilots if testings if they are kind of successful. And you can also kind of try out building multi-agent systems if at all required, with the multiple interactions are needed, and autonomous working of multiple agents in parallel is needed. You can try out multiple multi-agent systems. And through this you can actually capture the competitive advantage, because it is in the early adoption stage. And if companies get into this agentic AI now, then they can actually get the most out of it. Yeah, this is basically the roadmap of how the transformation happened. Like chatbots, they are answering questions these days. Like future forecast can be like in 2024, the RAG came and they kind of retrieved information and started answering. So 2025, now we are seeing agentic complete workflows and multi-agent architectures going on. So there can be autonomous business operations running by these AI agents in the coming future. There can be a company which will be run by AI agents alone, and they can kind of interact and make the business plans and kind of operate on their own. Yeah. So the question isn't whether these AIs agents will transform your industry. It's whether you'll lead or follow. Yep. So these are few key references I took, like BCG 2025 AI radar report, McKinsey AI impact analysis, and few others. So yeah. Uh, Thanks guys. Thanks for your attention.